to other technologies, you're relying upon getting a crew out there to mow it. Sometimes the crew can't get there for days, weeks. If it's wet, sometimes it goes a long time, and then you're out knocking it down like we did and having to take the blowers out and deal with the clippings, either blow the clippings or deal with this. With this, you don't have to worry about clippings. That gets recycled into the ground, and also then it makes it a healthier grass. There's less fertilizer used.
Feedback from what we get on the 9010 is that it almost has too much power, right? The tube is too big, there's too much volume coming out the end. It's kind of hard to control smaller amounts of leaves. It just blows things everywhere. Obviously, you're doing heavy leaf cleanup, that's perfect. If you're not doing heavy leaf cleanup, it could actually be too much. So we developed what was called the 7910. So it's actually using a kind of like a detuned version of the 9010. So think of like finely tuned NASCAR engine, kind of detuned, same displacement, 79cc, two-stroke engine configuration. You'll notice the fan housings a little bit smaller, blower tube diameters a little bit smaller, so we can't move as much air through this unit as we do the 9010. And what this does is it goes from 48 newtons down to 40 newtons, and then we also have a little bit more concentrated airstream coming out of the tube. So a little bit more neck down at the end, still has a metal wear ring, but gives you a little bit more control. So if you're finding the 9010 is just too much for you, the 7910 would be fantastic. More concentrated, a little bit more compact. You can see it's a side air filter versus a top mount, so just smaller. I have to get the exact weight reduction. Someone asked that in the last group. I didn't have that handy, but $599 retail price point. So this is our first battery-powered backpack blower, DPB 5800T. So a couple of things that we've incorporated into this: Posi-Lock tubes. You'll see it has the same type of rubber over molded grip like the PB580. So the PB580 is rated at 22 newtons. This will actually produce 25 newtons of blow force. We'll offer it only in a tube mount configuration. And then some of the things that we've incorporated from a technology standpoint is, as I engage this trigger here, you'll see a couple lights come on here, right? We have a top bank of lights and a bottom bank. The bottom bank, 1, 2, and 3, actually corresponds to your battery ports 1, 2, and 3. So if I take a battery out and then I reactivate it, you're going to see that 2 light is no longer there. We can actually incorporate some diagnostics in here to where if you're loading up batteries, you put the unit on your back and one of those ports is now blinking, you actually have a defective battery. It'll tell you something's wrong with the battery. Maybe it's not all the way in, maybe there's something going on with the battery. So it does have some diagnostics built into it. It does have a locking turbo button. So like on the handheld unit, if you want turbo, you gotta kind of push it and hold it. This, once you're using the blower, you can click it on the turbo, it'll stay on, or you can click it and turn it off again. Heavy duty padded straps. Obviously batteries are pretty expensive, so we did incorporate this roll cage design. So if this thing's bouncing around the back of the pickup truck, you know, it's protecting the batteries. And then this will also utilize any of the batteries, a 2.5, a 5, or the 8 amp hour battery also. So we're going to offer this in 2 configurations, a bare tool, so no batteries, no chargers, it'll be $349 retail, with 2 5 amp hour batteries, and the new dual port charger will be $699 retail.
Up to 54 minutes of runtime with the trimmer attachment. Depending on what other attachments you change to, you're going to get different runtimes, right? Hedge clipper is going to give you a little bit longer. Something like the paddle is going to give you significantly less when you actually go down to it, you know? Great product. We're extremely happy to have this one out. Really geared solely for the professionals who we know have already kind of bought into the system. Once again, we're not going to redevelop what we know works, right? So the PE2620 is a great product. It's been out there for a long time. We brought over a lot of the components from that system. Same front handle with the soft foam touch. Flipping it up, it's the exact same lower end, right? So it's the same molded shield that you have here. A good strong metal shield, won't crack, won't break during the use as it's getting beat up. It's a 2-to-1 gear case, right? So that's converting the high speed of the engine down to torque. and really cutting through dense grass and dirt. We have a really wide skid plate here, right? And so you want to make sure you're protecting the gear case, right? A lot of the competitors don't have kind of as wide of a skid plate, so it's a little bit easier to damage the product. It won't give you the longevity that you want. We want to make sure that these engines and these products are going to run for years and years and years after you make that investment. Same captive hardware on the wheel, same wheel adjustment. Once again, a very good product that we have here. It's got the variable speed trigger. It also has a safety locking device on this, on button, and then 3 speed settings up and down, right? So maybe you want to elongate your battery life, maybe you want more power, similar type of discussion. This one with the battery, 5 amp hour battery, and the rapid charger is $599.99. Weighs 14.1 pounds with the battery. It's about 1.5 pounds lighter than our gas powered trim or edgers, and about 1.5 pounds lighter than a lot of the competition.
Side. It is a single cutting motion, so what you do if you haven't used a single-sided hedge trimmer before is you hold the trimmer, you're cutting, you're collecting your clippings in the debris shield here, you dump them in more of a central location, makes your cleanup a little bit more efficient, a little bit easier on the cleanup there. So that's the whole purpose of the debris shield. If you haven't tried it, please try it today. It's a different feel because you have to kind of be in one position. You want to keep the blades away from your body when you cut, sweep, dump. It's perfect for that.